Do you have spiritual gifts? The answer is yes. And more importantly, are you using them? Don't shrug your shoulders. On today's show, we see a guide doing their level best to encourage the dreamer to use her gift of channeling. If you're not using your gifts, you have dreams like these. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. So excited you are here.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you while you're on your earth journey. That's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life right now, at this very moment in time, then look no further than your dreams. They have it all. They tell you what you're here for, what gifts you have, how you're meant to use those gifts to help yourself and help other people. Everything is in your dreams. Not just that, your relationships and the issues you have with them, your career and the issues you have with them, how you're getting on with your kids, everything. All the dots are joined in your dreams because you are a spirit on a spiritual journey, even if you don't believe in anything about the spirit world. Of course, if you don't, then you won't be listening to this show. So anyway, Sandy, what do you want to talk about?
I am so excited. We've got our 3-day summit coming up in October, and it's like less than 3 weeks away. I mean, are we getting that close? Maybe it's closer to 3 weeks. But anyways, it's going to be Friday, October 11th through Sunday, October 13th. And it's going to be different. There is so much content in this 3 days. And we are going to support Europe again, having one in the morning, Friday for our time, which will be dinner time a little later in Europe. And then one in the evening for the US and Hawaii and other places. And I think the people in Australia really like the one in the evening because that's their morning of the next day.
I don't think anything matches for Australia. I think they watch a lot of the recordings. They're on a different planet, actually. I think Australia's on a different planet.
Yes. Anyways, I am so excited about this event. So we've got some new things coming up. You'll see some good content like you've seen before where we talk about relationships, masculine, feminine energy and all of that. But this year we have some new things going on. We're going to be interviewing and having some of our graduates do dreams like they do in the past, but this time on the main stage. So you get to see one of our graduates do dream interpretation, and then she's going to share her journey and how dreams have changed her life. As well as we're going to bring on another graduate that's going to talk about some different things. Anyways, Michael, I don't want to ruin it, and I didn't want to give names. I wanted to keep it a secret, but I'll let you spill the beans if you want.
Well, the point of it is we want to show how practical dreams are. And of course, the weekend is covered with that. We do a lot of dreams. I think on the May event, there was probably close to 300 dreams interpreted by all the graduates that were working the program, which was amazing. So I suspect it'll be no different. So a lot of people get that done too. I think Tiffany's going to be back with us doing channeled readings for anybody who's interested in that too. But we want to show the practical application. Like, why would you learn it? So a lot of people, we have a mix. Maybe 50% of people who do our courses, they want to learn how to interpret their dreams so they can do it for themselves. And that's the goal. Do it for themselves and a few friends. But then a lot want to maybe use it to enhance whatever gifts they already have, and they want to add dream interpretation to make their offering a much better offering. And there's a lot of reasons for doing that. One is your dreams can tell you the nuance of how to use your gift, what all the benefits are, and some special things that you're able to do that nobody else can do. And we're going to talk to some people on the stage about very unique gifts that their dreams have shown them. But if that's you and you want to make a living out of it, then we want to talk to people on the stage who are making a living out of it. A lot of our graduates are working, interpreting dreams, either alongside what they already offer or just as a sole thing, or working for other people using dream analysis to support them in what they do, which is really great for us, great for the school. And so we've got the more interesting versions of those stories. Plus we have a new endeavor, a new direction that Ashling School is going to go in. And, not in the very near future, but it's coming up. And we're going to talk
A
about that as
surprise?
well.
Yeah, it's going to be a surprise, right? We're not going to talk about it yet. We're going to leave people hanging, don't you think?
If you want to go to it, go to dream-analysis.com. As usual, we ask for a refundable deposit to hold your seat. Just show up to any of it at all and you get that back. You don't even have to write to us. You get that back. But it's our way of keeping the event for people that just are interested in dream interpretation and want to be at our event. I've learned this the hard way. If you put on free events and don't charge anything, you get hecklers that come along that's all they want to do. I have nothing to do on Sunday, so here's what I'm going to do. So this keeps that clear. And it really changes the energy of the event, I think, by having people who are genuinely showing, this is what I am interested in. And you're in a community then of like-minded people for the whole weekend. And it's just lovely. Great energy.
Yes, and a lot of fun. And we only do this, now we're doing it twice a year, but it's wonderful. There's so much you're going to get out of it. Anyways, Michael, I'm looking at the time and wondering if maybe we should dive into some dreams. How do you feel about that?
That's why we're here.
All righty. Okay, so the first dream is titled Beautiful Jewelry Boxes, and it's from Kay. I love the title. I am walking down an aisle between outdoor cafe tables, heading for the exit ahead of me, but a small boutique store to my right catches my attention, and I enter it. The female shopkeeper is helping two women. The shopkeeper and the older woman are helping the younger woman pick out a set of jewelry for a special occasion, and they are encouraging her to include a third piece in her purchase. Okay, Michael, what do you think? I like to start.
Yeah. Walking down the aisle between the outdoor cafe tables. And she comes back to that at the end. So we know it's about birth because she's heading towards the exit. And entering and exiting a building are symbols for birth in your dreams. So when we see birth in a dream, we expect to see gifts. Nearly always will be in those dreams. Like, what did you come here for? That's going to be shown in a birth dream. And so here, because of the aisles being drawn out, we know that channeling is one of the gifts for Kay. And we also see two women. So when we see twos, we'll see twos in channel streams all the time. But the female shopkeeper is a guide, and she is trying to help somebody pick out a set of jewelry. Jewelry in a dream represents your gifts, the most precious aspect of your nature. That's what your gifts are, the most precious aspect. The aspect of you that is closest to God, that you came here with, that is already vibrating at a high frequency, and you're meant to use it here to help yourself and allow yourself to grow, but also to help other people. And a lot of the time, this helping other people is how you're going to repay your karmic debts. And in fact, that's a new theme that we're adding to this event. We're going to have a session that's specifically about karma and dharma. And we haven't done that before. But so when we see that she's coming to the exit and the shopkeeper is helping her pick something out, it means something's blocked this at the start of her life. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening at all in the dream. You don't need healing for something that wasn't a problem. So we know there's an issue. And we also know, because of the cafe tables, we expect that to come back up, at least symbolically, in the dream to represent something else.
What about the third piece of jewelry?
So it's commitment to your gifts, all of your gifts, using all of your gifts. And so we all have at least one gift. Most people in the West have not developed or are using their gift. That's just because of the way the West is, which is terrible, because we had to train in how to use our gifts before we came here. And we had to promise and even sign on the dotted line that I will use this gift to help these other people, because other people's lives are dependent on you helping them. You know, I'm going to get into trouble. I'm going to need help from somebody at some point. Could you imagine if you're on the planet and nobody decided to be a doctor? It's that kind of a devastating effect. If you don't learn to use your gifts, the people that you're meant to help with your gifts are left hanging. And then their guides have to pick up that some other way and get them the help in some other way. But you get karma for that. You get karma for not developing and using your gifts. But yeah, so here it's like, use these. You need to use these. Again, in the West, we're like, yeah, that's okay. I meet people, or at least I used to, and I would say, hey, you're a channel or you're a healer or whatever. And I'd meet them many years later. Most people would say, yeah, you're right. I developed that and it's great. I'm using it. But a lot of people would also say, oh, yeah, I've been told that before. The first time I tell them, like, you have this gift. And they don't realize how important it is. And so the shopkeeper is trying to convey that.
Very nice. Okay, let's move on. It is obvious the young woman is enamored with the entire jewelry set, but is reluctant for some reason to embrace the last piece. She keeps asking the other two women, are you sure it looks good with the other pieces? Are you sure it matches? It won't look odd? The two women continue to encourage her, and she finally agrees to purchase the entire set. The shopkeeper wraps up the jewelry in a beautiful box that is wrapped in a very unique, brightly colored material. It seems to be a combination of tulle and velvet. All right, Michael.
So that makes it precious. That kind of wrapping would already indicate it's precious. But it's good that she takes it on, says, yeah, okay, I'm going to make the purchase. But the fact that two women in the dream, and she says the older woman and the younger woman. So that's a mom-daughter reference. So we know that the issue that caused her to not pick up her gifts at the start of her life, come into the world and say, basically, this sucks. I am not going to use this gift to help people because of the issues I have with my mom. Or more accurately, the issues she had with her mom caused her to decide that this wasn't a worthwhile endeavor. And the dream is trying to heal that. We know that because it's a birth dream, and we see the two women, in fact, trying to help her and then show her that it is really precious. And then the next paragraph even goes on to amplify it a bit more.
Yep. Throughout this time, I've been watching the interaction of the women from across the shop and admiring the glass shop window display, which is full of these beautifully wrapped boxes in matching shades of vibrant greens and blues. They seem to sparkle under the shop lights and amidst the glass display shelves.
I like that. So she's meant to put her gifts on display. So again, this is what she didn't do because of the issues. She shut down. Now she's working on herself and has developed herself to a degree where we see the gifts becoming more significant. In fact, that's kind of the theme we see in dreams. Sometimes the gifts are used as a lure. They will say, like, you've got this ability and you would love yourself if you developed this ability. Like, she's in this dream, she's saying, okay, will these match? Will they match with everything else I have? In other words, am I going to look good with these or am I going to look strange? And so something made her feel different or awkward with the gifts, which is why she dropped them. And that's going to be mom's put downs and mom's whatever it is. And so we see in dreams, work on the issues, work on the traumas, heal your body tends to be the first kind of level that dreams go for if you need healing in the body, but definitely heal the traumas. And then it's moves into gifts. When the body's in a good state, it's saying, use this gift, develop this gift, because it's such a big part of your mission. And so seeing these in the light, and we see the window display, we know that the dreamer also has an intuitive ability. This is where you just get knowings about things or downloads, or you just have this sense of, I know this is how this is. And I don't know how I know it, but I know it is how it is. But I love that they sparkle in the shop lights. And what is interesting, though, is we see the dreamer is witnessing all this. She isn't the one being persuaded. So that usually makes it a little bit worse. It's like, okay, we already know if we tried to persuade you, you wouldn't do it. So we're going to vicariously do it for you in the dream this way, symbolically. So just another interesting note.
Yeah, well, what are the vibrant greens and blues, which are the colored of the wrap boxes? I like colors, so I'm always going to pull out colors.
Blue is about your philosophy of life, and green is the color of the heart chakra. So it's saying express your feminine side, your heart, who you really are at your core, along with your gifts. Like displaying your gifts and using your gifts is connected to this energy, which is why we see the women trying to fix the issue in the first place, because that would be connected with the heart. Women are connected in dreams, are connected with the heart. So it's working on the issues with mom has now brought her to the place where, because of the, let's say, the hiccup at the start of life where she decided her gifts weren't worth picking up because of the way mom treated her, that's being healed. And now she's going to use her gifts.
And I like the sparkle.
Ah.
Okay. After the two women leave the shop, the shopkeeper turns to me and asks how she can help me. I know we had some sort of interaction, but I can't recall it upon waking.
So it's pity she doesn't remember it, but it's okay because the other part of the dream is really it. Um, and ultimately, it's all about her. So what she's being shown to do, but not in such a strong way. Like if you see people taking a leap of faith, jumping over, say, a chasm or whatever, some deep drop, and they jump across that, that would be telling you, look, take a leap of faith, have faith in whatever the subject matter of the dream is. So here, what she's been shown is, here's what you did. You dropped your gifts. You didn't pick them up. So now please pick them up. And then leaving the shop asks you to take them out into the outside world. Don't just be aware that you have gifts. Use them with other people. And so the interaction with the shopkeeper is most likely going to be along that vein. Maybe talking about how great it is, that young girl's going to look wonderful, or would you like a set just like hers? Either way, it's good.
Alrighty. Next, I find myself sitting at one of two-person cafe tables I previously walked by. A male figure is sitting next to me, to my left, but he is across the walkway aisle at the other two-persons cafe table. We occasionally speak to each other, but I never turned my head to look at him. We are both waiting for our server to arrive.
So because channeling has come up, we know now that she's clairaudient. She can't see her guide. She doesn't turn to this other person at the other table, and he's across the walkway or across the aisle. So he's in the spirit world, let's say, from her perspective. And she doesn't turn to look at him, but hears him. And that's what she's saying. You know, I hear my guides. And so that's a beautiful piece. And then waiting for the server to arrive tells us also that she has a hands-on healing ability. But really, it's more about her opportunity or her time to serve and help other people is what's arriving.
Alrighty. At one point, I hear a voice say, Table 10 needs service. I know the voice is referring to the man's table. I have already completed my meal, so I am just waiting for the check. On the table in front of me is a clean plate with a very elegant empty muffin liner, like something that would be used to present a fancy chocolate or dessert. Ooh. But whatever decadent dessert was served has already been consumed. I feel complete.
It's funny how she says, I feel complete. And then she says, table 10 needs service, because 10 is about the same thing. It's the completion of the set of numbers. So the dream is saying, look, when you pick this up, when you step into service, you're going to feel complete. You're going to feel really good. Just like, even though she can't remember having eaten the dessert, she's like, oh, I feel good because I must have eaten it, which is kind of funny. But that, it's that sense of, this is what you came here to do. 10 is a really good number to see in a dream. And again, she says, I hear a voice, referring to the man's table. So there's no interaction of I see my guides. It's a normal conversation. All the emphasis is on hearing, because that's how she works. She's clairaudient.
Wow, that's excellent. Let's see. I like the chocolate or dessert. What's that about?
Well, healing in a dream is often shown with treats or desserts, because it's the pun in that is treat yourself or heal yourself, or use your gift to treat or heal other people. We often see Halloween, we're coming up to Halloween, used in dreams for the same reason. It represents that you have a healing ability, or can pretty frequently. Serving food or drink in a dream tells us that you're a hands-on healer, because food and drink is the energy that our body needs. And so you have the ability to deliver this energy to other people. And then Halloween is all about, knocking from door to door to get fed, basically.
Candy. Hmm. Wow, that's cool. Well, Michael, I think it's time for us to bring on April. What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All righty. April, we'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Sandy. This week, I want to look at a dream that a woman I will call Chloe has sent into the radio show. She sent in two dreams together that she had on completely different nights. And I wouldn't normally choose to cover them together, but they're both so short that I'll do them both today. The first dream she had more recently, and I will call this dream the Repairman. And as you see, it's really quite short. Her dream says, A repairman wearing a bright yellow work shirt arrives at my house to repair my refrigerator. I notice he has an essence of my father in appearance, but it's obviously not him. He's taller, better looking, and very serious. He has an air of being very professional, all business. And that's the end of the dream. Okay. So this repairman is a very classic representation of a healing agent. Healing agents show up in dreams to do exactly what that sounds like. They show up to heal us because our guides and higher self know that we need it. So he's a guide as well because he has a title and she describes him as taller, but he's really showing up here to offer healing. And sometimes healing agents will heal us by embodying qualities that we need to develop. And when they show up in our dream, they try to get close to us in an attempt to rub off on us in some way. Other times, a healing agent will literally step in to heal something in our body. And that's the case here for Chloe. This healing agent has come to repair the refrigerator, which symbolizes Chloe's stomach. Chloe may be aware of having stomach issues, or she may be blissfully unaware, and this is therefore a preventative measure. Either way, the healing agent is here to help. So what's causing issues with the stomach? Well, we see that he has the essence of her father. So dad's influence is being linked to whatever stomach issues are being brought up. And she says he's wearing a bright yellow shirt and he's all business. The cool thing about this is that masculine energy governs both the digestive system and business and career and many other things. So we see here that masculine energy issues that she has from dad are affecting her digestion and maybe even work. Yellow is a color in dreams that can stimulate, and is attempting to do this for Chloe, stimulate her willpower and self-confidence. And it can help us come to terms with fears we've been holding on to. And in her case, since she was younger, under dad's influence. For Chloe, these fears would have been about growing up and career and money and individuality, something along those lines. And the color yellow can show up in dreams also to heal the third chakra. And in particular, get this, the stomach and other digestive organs. So this healing agent is bringing in the color yellow to help Chloe in all of those ways. Now, Chloe described him as very serious and businesslike. This makes me wonder if dad acted this way in reality. When I tuned into the dream and channeled, I did get a sense that dad was a bit serious and heavy, and it created a bit of fear and dampened her original happiness and individuality. I saw her younger, having had a happy individual nature where she was connected to a sense of love within. And when she encountered dad's serious nature enough times, she had to acquiesce to the seriousness. And it was scary for her to imagine having to mold her beingness with what the world was going to demand of her. And of course, she is quite capable of being in the world and loving everything about it. But this fear muddied her happy spirit. So she isn't yet as free as she could be. And I channeled most of that. And I could have kept going, but I stopped myself so that we could look at the next dream. The next dream is called Green Shirt. The dream says, I'm at a party where I know nobody, but everybody is super nice and pleasant. I move through the multi-room location, greeting everyone. I feel really at home, no anxiety, but curious everywhere I go. I end up in a line where I notice everyone is taking off their shirt and dropping it in a pile on the floor when I realize they are all green shirts. The end. Okay. The dream starts at a party, so we know right away that this dream is about Chloe's birth. She said she didn't know anybody, but everybody is super nice and pleasant. My question is, if this dream is about birth, where's mom? She said she knew no one, which tells me that some important people were missing for her at the start of life. And I don't know what the extent of it was, but there was a moment where Chloe would have needed people that she knew, and they weren't there. Chloe says she wasn't anxious and felt really at home. This is a classic way that dreams tell us that she didn't feel this way in reality and might still have a hard time feeling this way in certain situations, especially socially in Chloe's case. So how would most of us feel going to a party where you knew no one? most of us will feel uncomfortable and maybe be a little anxious. And what Chloe is doing in the dream is she's being really open and curious. And the green shirt tells me this dream is about trusting enough to be open. We see her greeting people, being curious, not self-conscious at all. This is the state that the dream would like her to get to in reality. And this is backed up by the green shirts. Green represents the heart chakra. It can show up like it does here to heal and harmonize any conflict that we might have about feeling open if we have a tendency to not be open and self-protect a little bit. So why is everyone taking off the green shirts if green represents being open and it's positive? Well, you can't get any more open than when you don't have a shirt on. So this is showing Chloe what she needs to do. It's asking her to express and share herself openly and let people get closer by letting them see the real her, the real all of it. So telling someone to just open your heart more is easier said than done. We often have to go to the root of why we aren't open in the first place. And it's always because we felt pain that we don't want to feel again. So going in and processing the original pain in a healing therapy, like the one that we offer at the school, cutting the ties that bind, that helps the heart open again. And it's a process that is always rewarding. And that's all I have for this week.
Wow, thank you, April. That was very insightful. And guess what? We are out of time, and I still have more dreams to do. But I want to remind all of you, please go sign up for our October Summit. It is going to be fantastic and one you're not going to want to miss. Are we going to have links at the bottom, Michael? I believe we are, right?
We always do. For weeks and weeks, they've been there for you to sign up. dream-analysis.com. Just go there and you'll have the link. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.